After weeks of intense campaigns, ward meetings, community outreaches and last-minute political calculations, residents across the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory stepped out to make their voices heard. Voting has since ended, sorting was completed at the polling units and collation stretched late into the night. Now, the picture is becoming clearer. Results have been announced in Gwagwalada, Abuja, Kwali, Amak and Buari, with only Kuje left to complete the electoral map of the Federal Capital Territory. In some councils, celebrations have erupted. In others, there is quiet reflection and strategic regrouping. But beyond the victories, speeches and party colors lie a deeper question about what these outcomes truly represent. The Fct area council elections are never just routine local contest. They serve as a political barometer, measuring public sentiments, testing party structures and revealing the strength of grassroots democracy in the nation's capital. An endorsement of performance, a protest against incumbent, or evidence of shifting alliances at the community level. What patterns are emerging across the councils, and what could the final declaration from Kuje mean for the overall balance of power? Joining me on the program later will be a seasoned political analyst who will help us break down the numbers, interrogate the process and unpack what these outcomes signal for governance and political alignments in the Federal Capital Territory. I am Abdullah Hajja, welcoming you to another of Fct Decides studios. Of course, yesterday was full of the activities and actions of electorates who went out to choose their leaders in the area councils, talking about the chairman and councillors in the 62 political wards. Of course, we did promise you that today will be a continuation of what transpired yesterday, because it is not over until it is over, talking about bringing you the results of those who have emerged winners. Of course, this will be our outlook on the program to this morning. And we have a series of reports that are ready to share with you in the course of the program. For now, let's take a breather. When we return, we'll continue.
Right now, I'm at Kotoku 2, UBT Primary School, Gwagwalada area council.
From Kwali, we are calling Unit 403, Kwali Town Hall, and the election process has commenced in earnest.
The verification exercise just commenced at exactly 8:30 a.m.
The total number of registered voters in this polling unit is 772. And for this election, the people of this polling unit have expressed their enthusiasm.
However, residents of Karu here seem not to be adhering to these restrictions, as you can still see movement in numbers.
Still from polling in 016 Caring Area 8, I have with me the presiding officer, Miracle, who will tell us how the process has been so far.
Actually, we had a sleepless night and things were moving really well. So, there's no issue at all.
The election will be monitored by the Electoral Operations Support Center established here at the INEC FCT to monitor the exercise in terms of...
How do you feel voting for the first time?
I feel good and emotional.
The process is fine, easy and simple.
So far, so good. The preparations from the arrival of the materials and the conduct of the INEC staff.
Well, more updates coming to you later.
It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you for staying tuned. And of course, we'll begin from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC FCT, where They will be talking to us as our correspondent Rabia Shaibu, is giving us updates. But from them, the Resident Electoral Commissioner INEC Fct, Malan Aminu Kasim Idris, says the collation process has been progressing steadily, with results already received and announced from 5 out of the 6 area councils, while collation is ongoing in Kuje. Officials say the Electoral Operations Support Center has now concluded its coordination role for election day activities as attention shifts fully to result collation and declaration. The Commission says it is satisfied with the overall conduct of the elections, citing early deployments of materials, effective use of technology, and generally peaceful voting across the territory. Let's join Rabia Shaib for an update.
I am here at the INEC FCT office at the Central Business District, where the Electoral Operations Support Center has concluded its duties for the 2026 FCT Area Council election. The Resident Electoral Commissioner has urged FCT residents to also take part in monitoring the transmission process, as the IREV remains a public domain for all to access to see the election results.
We have received conclusive reports. Conclusive results from 5 of the 6 area councils. As you may have seen, we have results from Amak, that is municipal. We have results from Buari, from Gwagwalada, from Abaji, and from Kwali. The only outstanding result is the one from Kuje. We are expecting that the 2 wards that are left will be collated this morning, and by afternoon we should have results from Kuje also. One of the issues is the terrain. One of the wards called Kabi has very tough terrains to go, and communication is very bad there. There's no link there, so we wait for them to come out with the result. So we are happy we've concluded our job, we've done our job diligently, and results are out for the election.
All right, that was Rabia there speaking with the Resident Electoral Commissioner INEC Fct, Aminu Kasim Idris. Now, our next report will be from Abaji. And Ramatu Abdullahi reports that Abubakar Umar Abdullahi of the All Progressives Congress APC has been declared winner and returned elected as chairman of Abaji Area Council, having polled a total of 15,535 votes to defeat his opponents. Returning officer of Abaji Area Council, Professor Muhammad Uthman of the University of Abuja made the declaration after the collation of results from the 10 wards of the area council. Okay, Ramatu, take it from here.
Returning officer from the 10 wards of Abaji area council took turns to announce results from each of their wards. At the end of the collation, APC chairmanship candidate Abubakar Umar Abdullahi polled 15,535 votes. YPP candidate Muhammad Angululoko had 5,547 votes. YPDP chairmanship candidate Dr. Biliaminu Musa Sokodabo polled 4,547 votes.
That Umar Abubakar Abdullahi of ATC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Winner of the election and incumbent chairman of Abaji Area Council, Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, thanked the people of his area council for giving him another opportunity to serve them and promised to justify the confidence reposed in him.
In this first tenure, I promise that I will build a standard PSC, which, to the special grace of God, the project is at 98% completion. There is a standard ICT center that I'm building. That, again, is at the 70% completion. So God knows that I had a good intention for the good people of Abuja Area Council. That is why God answered their own prayers.
We really appreciate what we saw, because it's a normal thing in politics that we have appear and we give a good fight. So we did this. You understand that it is not a do or die affair. And thank God we did not lose any life in the process of this election.
Party agents present at the collation center signed the results. Ramatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Thank you, Ramatu, for that update and declaration of result from from Abuja Area Council. And I must commend you for what you've done, you know, diligently giving us all that had happened in Abuja. Well, next on the line is the result from Gwagwalada Area Council, and of course the People's Democratic Party candidate Mohammed Qasim has been declared winner and duly elected chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council in the just concluded Fct Area Council elections. Our correspondent Sandra Keme reports that Qasim polled 22,165 votes to defeat other candidates in the race. Let's take a look.
The election, which was conducted across the wards in Gwagwalada Area Council, witnessed varying levels of voter turnout, with security personnel deployed to maintain order throughout the exercise.
I contest as a councillor under Labour Party, but Labour did not come up because of one or two problems. So, but I am not greedy enough. I have to use my vote to go and pick somebody that is capable, because Nigeria is for all. Gwagwalada is for all.
I'm satisfied with what INEC has made to this level. I don't know what happens later, but this one is all right.
The process was smooth. The data capturing machine never a problem. For the first time, I saw INEC machine working under stress.
Following the announcement of the results by the returning officer, declared Mohammed Qasim winner.
I, Professor Philip Akpen, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2026 FCT Area Council elections, Gwagwalada chairmanship. That Mohammed Qasim of PDP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Well, one thing I'm happy about is that people's voice have been heard. Against all odds, whether poor, I remain orphan for the fact that I have no any high-ranking officer in my political party as either a senator, a minister, a governor, House of Rep, or an executive chairman in Gwagwalada. God, that is God, make it for somebody that is seen to be nobody to be somebody, and I will continue to look at everybody to be somebody too.
So were you actually expecting this victory?
As a party, we give thanks to God and appreciate every voter and other political party that participated in the election, because the process wouldn't have been complete without them. Despite the challenges, I take it that democracy somehow is at play. So we will continue to struggle for good leadership and governance.
With his victory, Mohammed Qasim is expected to steer the affairs of the council for the next term as residents look forward to improved service delivery and grassroots development. From Gwagwalada Area Council, Sandra Akeme.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for that comprehensive package. And of course, beyond just the announcement of result, we also got the reactions of some of the political actors, including the chairman-elect of Gwagwalada Area Council, which I think is commendable, and the reactions of those that will be celebrating at this moment. From there, we'll now be going to join our correspondent Hakimat Aliyu, who is in the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Hakimat, I know Amak is already celebrating, so what do you have for us at the moment? And you tell us where you are and what's the reaction over there. Hakimat, over to you, please.
Okay, I'm out here at the Garki village, the family home of Christopher Zaka Mekalango, the incumbent chairman of our area council, and he's returned elected. So here the atmosphere is that of jubilation and celebration. They're all out here to celebrate his victory. We've spoken to a couple of them earlier here who all appreciate INEC's conduct of the exercise. I have a person standing by here. He'll be telling me his name and how he feels with the outcome of this election. So how do you feel with the result?
All right, Hakimat, we're very sorry. The audio just, got lost, but we hope that we'll reconnect with you so that we'll be able to get the reactions of those that are celebrating at the moment for the victory of Zaka Christopher Mekalango. But before we reconnect with you, Hakimat, let's take this report. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Christopher Zaka Mekalango of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as the elected chairman of the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC. The coalition officer for AMAC, Professor Andrew Abue, said that Mekalango, who is the incumbent AMAC chairman, was returned elected, having scored the highest number of votes cast, 40,295 out of the total number of valid votes of 62,861 in the election. Fct poll. The INEC declared APC's... Okay, that report, please. All right, we apologize for the loss of audio in that part of the report, but we hope to get the audio so that we get the announcements of Mekalango as the duly elected chairman of AMAC. Now, Hakimat is out there to get us some reactions. Okay, Hakimat seems not to be ready now. Quickly, let's go to Kwali Area Council. The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared Mr. Joshua Shaku of the All Progressives Congress, APC, winner of the Buhari Area Council chairmanship election. Professor Mohammed Nuruddin, the returning officer for Buhari Area Council chairmanship election, announced the results of the poll early hours of Sunday morning in Buhari. He disclosed that APC polled a total of 18,466 votes and therefore declared him the winner. Hawa Gimba reports that the chairmanship election was conducted in 10 wards of the council, namely Igu, Shere, Dusi, Ushafa, Biajin, Kuduru, Kubwa, Usama, Usuma, Buhari, Central, and Kawu. The resident electoral commissioner, INEC Fct Aminu Kasimu, has all right, well, that was Buhari, and We do hope that we'll get the clips and the audio from that announcement to share with you in the course of the program. If Kwali is ready, let's get Kwali's results. All right, well, while we wait Kwali's results, let's take a short break and we return. We'll give you more of the results. Do stay with us.
Right now, I'm at Kotoku 1 2, UBE Primary School, Gwagwalada Area Council.
From Kwali, we are calling Unit 003 Kwali Town Hall, and the election process has commenced in earnest.
The verification exercise just commenced at exactly 8:30 a.m.
The total number of registered voters in this polling unit is 772. And for this election, the people of this polling unit have expressed their enthusiasm.
However, residents of Karu here seem not to be adhering to these restrictions, as you can still see movement in numbers.
Still from polling in 016 Caring Area 8, I have with me the presiding officer, Miracle, who will tell us how the process has been so far.
Actually, we had a sleepless night and things were moving really well. So, ranking, there's no issue at all.
The election will be monitored. Electoral Operations Support Center established here at the INEC FCT to monitor the exercise in terms of...
How do you feel voting for the first time?
I feel good and emotional.
The process is fine, easy and simple.
So far, so good. The preparation from the arrival of the materials and the conduct of the INEC staff is there.
Well, more updates coming to you later.
It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you for staying tuned to the Fct Decides studios. Of course, it is the day of the announcements of results and winners in the Fct Area Council elections that held yesterday, Saturday the 21st of February 2026. Now, moving on, the current Speaker of Kwali Area Council, Nuhu Daniel of the All Progressives Congress APC, has emerged chairman of Kwali Area Council in the just concluded Fct Area Council post with 17,075 votes. The returning officer, Professor Olympus Ejue, announced the election results at the Kwali INEC area office Sunday morning. Let's take a look.
I'm the returning officer for this election, Kwali Chairmanship election, on this day, 21st February 2026. At the end of the election, number of registered voters, 6580. Number of accredited voters, 1472. Party A, 0. Party AA, 4. ADC, 14. ADP, 17. APC, 881. ABGA, 1. APM, 0. NNPP, 0. PDP 520. Total valid votes 1437. Rejected votes 35. Total vote cast 1472. That Daniel Nuhu Kwali of APC, having satisfied requirements for the law, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected.
I'm very, very excited. I know why you are seeing all this thing.
the will of people has been spoken. I think this is the most free, fair, and credible election in the history of Kwale Area Council.
Thank you, Deborah Gezajimaika, with that result. An update from Kwale Area Council, where Nuhu Daniel, a young man there, has been declared the winner of that election in Kwale Area Council. From Kwale, we'll now shift attention to what civil society organizations under the situation rooms, are saying as far as yesterday's conduct of the election was concerned. They have their own assessment, as at yesterday, where while we also wait for an update from them. But let's take what they said as at yesterday from the situation room. Charity Zaka, over to you.
At the election situation room, including the Nigerian Civil Society situation room, commended the security agencies for their management of the FCT Area Council elections, describing the process as peaceful and orderly.
Monitors are catching up with every event happening in the field and giving us real-time information and ensuring that we get all the information that we need. We are bringing out information on all our social media handles to ensure that Nigerians are aware.
Cynthia Mbemalu, Director of Programs at Yaga Africa, highlighted the collaborative efforts of all agencies involved, noting that the coordination contributed significantly to a secured and well-conducted voting exercise.
Is a call to INEC officials to ensure that the result sheet from EC60E is posted at the polling unit. We call that the people's results, and that the BVAS is used to take a picture of the form EC8A and uploaded on the IREF and transmitted. We need this process to be clearly done.
So far, it's been peaceful. I just didn't want to say outrightly that it was all calm and peaceful.
Overall, there was general praise for the Nigeria Security Force for ensuring a safe environment, reinforcing confidence in the electoral process. Charity Zaka, NTA News.
Thank you, Charity Zaka, with that situation report from the situation room. Of course, civil society organizations are part of the stakeholders as far as an election is concerned, and they are also speaking from their own perspective of what they have observed, and also giving assessments of what went wrong, and also the areas that also got pass mark, and all this has been done to ensure that we always get it right moving forward. And I think such observations, the umpire will take them into consideration in organizing or conducting future elections. All right, Serafina Rokonomekwe, our correspondent who has been keeping tab of happenings in Kuje Area Council. Yes, she was there yesterday, but they've not concluded as we learned. Now she's standing by to give us an update of what is happening now at the Collation Center. Serafina, if you can hear me, I want to say very good morning to you and well done for keeping vigil, watching over what's happening. So we want to hear what's actually happening at the Collation Center in Kuje. It is the only result we are yet to get, and everyone wants to know what's happening. Over to you.
Okay, Ajay, good morning. Yeah, I can hear you very well. Well, Kuje is just the only local government waiting, like you rightly said, waiting to announce a winner. Well, so far, like it was from most of the polling units we visited, it was peaceful. The voters conducted themselves accordingly. And well, so here we are at the INEC office with collation already completed in about 8 out of the 10 wards, and the resident electoral commissioner Rex seated. The process appears to be underway. Once the remaining ward results are finalized and verified, INEC should be in a position to officially announce the winner of the chairmanship election. These final hours, I must say, usually focus on cross-checking
Well, Serafina, oh, the network has, caught you off. If not, I would have asked you, what's the tension like in Kuje? Because after the election, all would want to hear the outcome of the result. Yes, we know the INEC officials are there to announce the result, but I believe Kuje now will be so tensed for all parties to get to know what the outcome of the result would be. So, but we hope that in no distant time the results of Kuje will, join other 5 results. So that at the end of the day, we call it a day as far as the results for the elections in the FCT, is concerned. So, Serafina, we do hope to, reconnect with you to be able to get that result. Now, Buhari is on the line. Let's go to Buhari area council, where our correspondent Hawa Gimba is standing by. Hawa, if you are ready, let's get to hear from you.
Despite the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected. Thank you very much.
Well, Awa from Buhari, we yet to get to link up with you, but before then, let's tell you that the people of the FCT have spoken through the ballots, and of course it is one election that all looked forward to, and it has come, and we are at the moment where those that have emerged victorious are still basking in the euphoria of their victories, while we still await that of Kuje. And of course, our correspondents are not pulling out yet, because Kuje's result is still being awaited. But I must tell you, we must also commend our correspondent from Abuja, Buhari, and the like. So I think we have a call, probably from one of our correspondents. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Nigeria.
Oh, Onotu Yakubo, our security correspondent. Onotu, good morning. I hope you slept very well after yesterday's work.
Well, it was actually a pleasurable one. I had a good night rest after the rigors of yesterday's exercise. This morning, my colleague is to comment on, like I said, I did say yesterday in some of my presentations, one of the very key components to the success of the area council election, which we saw played very well, is security. As security correspondent, I'm very much aware of the inroads, all the efforts that were invested by the various security agencies in collaboration. Don't forget also that the INEC election security component is co-chaired by the resident electoral commissioner in the FCT, and alongside them, the commissioner of police, who is the chairman of the security council in the FCT. What I really saw played out yesterday was interagency collaboration by security agencies to ensure that success was achieved, and that played out from the beginning. In fact, the deployment started as far back as Thursday, an activation of all components of the joint operation, and the restriction was also issued, and we saw the Nigerian Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the police, and the NSCDC, and all other paramilitary agencies joined in the efforts to ensure that the election was conducted peacefully without any atmosphere of stress. And then when the restriction order was issued by the joint security as well as the minister of the FCT, we also saw.
All right, Onotu, sorry, let me interject a little. If you can hear me, yes, we're very much aware of some of this highlight you're giving us, which we believe is common knowledge. Now, what is being done now by the security agencies haven't gotten a pass mark in terms of ensuring that the election went peacefully, across the, polling units in the 6 area councils. Now it's time for, the post-election now, which is also part of their plan. What are they doing? Because winners have emerged, and of course losers, as the case may be, are there. So what are they doing, towards some of this reaction of those celebrating and also those that are not celebrating because the result didn't go in their favor?
Yes, while planning for the election, I'm aware that the security agencies also plan for the post-election, like you have mentioned. Part of the initiative was to ensure that the key players in the elections, the contestants, and even the political parties were brought together to interface on the need to see the FCT first as the winner in this process, and not the individual political parties and the candidates. So what they were able to do was initiate efforts to, encourage the spirit of sportsmanship among them, the candidates and the parties. So I am aware that effort has been on to also beef up security at some of these critical aspects, the critical infrastructure that are host to the conduct of the election, and then even the post-election day, which is like a day like this, while results will be announced and what have you. So I am very much aware that there are deployments across the board to secure facilities that could be at the risk of sore losers who want to react unnecessarily and causing chaos and mayhem. So that aspect of the planning too was also very much taken into consideration while efforts were on all the while to prepare for security of the exercise. So I think from what I've seen across the city this morning, while results have been announced across the area councils, people have been calm. I think that effort the security agencies put in place is actually playing out, because you're not seeming to see any reaction, any negative reaction from those who would have been perceived to have lost the election. So far, so good. And I want to believe that the effort, the interface they had with the security agencies are also playing out, while we'll expect the winners also to also demonstrate that spirit of sportsmanship to call their co-contestants into continuing to anchor that effort on peace moving forward.
Onotu, we must commend you. I know you are always on top of your game, and let's hope that this continues based on what you've said, because Kuje is yet to be known, the winner is yet to be declared. So we hope that the security agencies will shift attention towards ensuring that Kuje also join the list of the results that would be announced, and also do the post-election, mopping. And we saw the show of force. I think that, I want to say, would have also reinforced confidence and in the people. So we wish you well. While you also report safety, we wish that you also remain safe wherever you are reporting from. Thank you for joining us on the Fct Decides this morning. All right, do have a nice day. All right, well, from Onotu, we want to also come back to the studio to hear from one of our correspondents who was on the field throughout yesterday and through the night, keeping vigil to also get the result. Now, Hakimat Aliyu joins me live in the studio. I know your face, as if you didn't sleep very well yesterday. It's part of the job. We want to commend you for all you've done yesterday in the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Now you're just coming back from the field, and we saw earlier, we joined you earlier for the reactions of those that have emerged, winners, especially Zaka Mekalangu. Can you just give us little of what your eyes catched at the residence of the incumbent chairman of AMAC?
Thank you very much, Ajay. Like you said, we've been out there in the field yesterday with commencement of the election and following the announcement of the result through into the night early this morning. You saw from the election results that has been declared by INEC, Zaka Mekalangu, who is the incumbent chairman, is returned elected as the chairman for AMAC once again with over 40,000
295 votes. So we quickly, we had to get reaction of the winner outside after the declaration. We followed up to find out and get sound bites from the winner, get reaction shots from the people. So we journeyed all the way to his family home in Gariki, where luckily we caught up with him there. We were able to have an interview with him, which is going to be coming up shortly. We also got reactions of residents. The atmosphere there is plainly that of jubilation. They are celebrating his victory once again.
Okay, Akimat, it's a contest, and of course you cannot take away the fact that somebody has been declared winner, and the other parties, will not be jubilating. But in the spirit of sportsmanship, I would have expected probably you reach out to probably the one that came second or third in the context to also get their reaction.
Reactions, of course, we're following up on that to get the candidates. But when it comes to election in our clan, once it's like a winner takes it all things. So once the winner is declared, the other parties tend to move to the background. They're not really expressive, coming out to say, okay, it's a win-win thing for everyone. But we're following up on all the candidates. We have the second person who emerged from the ADP candidate.
ADC.
Yes, ADC.
Okay, Akimat, just hold on. We'll come back to you still with me in the studio. Let's go back to Kuje Area Council, where our correspondent, Serafina Okon Umekwe, probably she has something in addition to what she has told us earlier. Serafina, if you can hear me, please, what's the latest?
Aja, yes, I can hear you. Well, like I said, the results are still trickling in. The rec is seated, and if you can see, behind me, the pressmen are also here. Likewise, all concerned parties are here, and in a few, maybe in a few minutes or few hours, the announcements will be made. Like I told you earlier on that so far, with collation already completed in about 8 out of 10 words. So while I was with you on the call at that time, one of the collation officer just came in. So altogether now it's about 9. Now Kuje has 10 words. So we're waiting for the last one. I think a call was put across, and the person said maybe in about 40 minutes or 1 hour thereabout, he should be at the INEC office. And I did said, well, the environment is like security, heavy security. Part of the road actually blocks, motorists would not have to use one way rather than having their own side of the lane. So the road close to the INEC office is blocked from the road. Then, yeah, the wreck is fixed, I did told you. Collation about to commence. I know this is a very sensitive part where they ensure the finalization of verified results by INEC, which they are in position to officially announce the winner of the chairmanship election here in Kuje. These final hours are usually focused on cross-checking figures from all wards, resolving discrepancies, which I think they have been doing all they can to sort out. But in no moments from now, the breaking news will be coming. Ajay, can you hear me? Hello, Abdullahi Ajay.
All right, Serafina, we want to commend you for bringing us the latest, from the collation center in Kuje. And, well, the ultimate will be that we hear the collation officer or returning officer for Kuje Area Council chairmanship election dishing out the figures, and also subsequently announcing the winner of the election. So we hope that you continue to remain safe, even though you have told us that the security has cordoned the collation center. But please be step smarter and also take care of yourself while you be our eye there to give us the results. Thank you for joining us, Serafina. All right, Serafina. Now, Akimat, I want to just ask you one last question before we let you go so that you go and have a good rest. We saw the election yesterday, and from the eye of a journalist, what's your assessment? If you can just summarize for us before we let you go.
Okay, from my outing yesterday on the field, it was practically successful. At least we didn't have any issues with both the INEC officials. They were on ground. They were all ready, all set to embark on the exercise. Started smoothly, everything ran smoothly. There were no issues. All the areas I visited, no issues of beavers not working. Everything ran smoothly with no little or no hitch at all.
We must thank you very sincerely, Akimat Aliyu, for always being, who you are, reporting and getting us results from AMAC. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
All right, let's go on a short break now. When we return, we'll have other parts of the conversation on Fct Decides Studios. Do stay with us.
Right now, I'm at Kotoku 2, UVE Primary School, Gwagwalada Area Council.
Currently, we are calling Unit 003 for the town hall, and the election process has commenced in earnest.
The verification exercise just commenced at exactly 8:30 a.m.
The total number of registered voters in this polling unit is 772. And for this election, the people of this polling unit have expressed their enthusiasm.
However, residents of Cairo here seem not to be adhering to these restrictions, as you can still see movement in numbers.
Still from polling in 016 Caring Area 8, I have with me the presiding officer, Miracle, who will tell us how the process has been so far.
Actually, we had a sleepless night and things were moving really well. So, there's no issues at all.
The election will be monitored by the Electoral Operations Support Center established here at the INEC FCT to monitor the exercise in terms of...
How do you feel voting for the first time?
I feel good and emotional.
The process is fine, easy and simple.
So far, so good. The preparations from the arrival of the materials and the conduct of the INEC staff.
Well, more updates coming to you later. It's back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you for staying tuned to our Fct Decides Studios for the 2026 Fct Area Council elections. And of course, like we told you, it is not over until it is over. We're yet to get one out of the 6 Area Council chairmanship results, which is Kuje Area Council. Right here, I'm being joined by a popular face on TV and the NTA, Jide Ojo. Is a public affairs analyst, a commentator, and a writer. I must say, we're privileged to have you join us on Fct Decides Studios. You're looking good for your Sunday.
My pleasure. Good morning.
I believe you have worshipped and prayed for Nigeria, for the FCT.
It's all our duty. We have to pray for our country. Okay. We have no other one.
All right. Thank you for joining us. All right. Right away, I know you are a stakeholder from what you do every day for this. We saw the FCT elections yesterday. I just want to ask you before we go into the outcome, what would be your assessment of what you saw in terms of what INEC has done in terms of the conduct of voters and also, security?
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. It's humbling that first we need to acknowledge the fact that area council election is unique in its own sense. Because it has a different status from that of local government. Don't forget that it's only the area council elections that INEC conduct at the third tier of government. Every other local government elections are conducted by state independent electoral commissions. And since 1999, INEC has never failed to conduct election into FCT as a when due. So with that at the back of our mind, the regularity of it has shown that over time there has been significant improvement in the way and manner the elections are conducted. One significant thing with yesterday's election is also that this is the first time that the area council will be having 4-year tenure. All along, it's been 3 years tenure, maximum of 2 that you have as chairman. But now you have 4 years after the amendment of the law. You now have 4-year tenure, which brings it at par with the State House of Assembly and then the federal legislature, the National Assembly. So yesterday, election was largely peaceful, no fatality. Even in the lead up to that election, you saw that the atmosphere for campaigns were more like carnival. Carnival-like, no issue of clashes among party supporters, no incidences of electoral violence. So, in fact, many in area councils did not know something is afoot.
Sure.
Because everything went well, peacefully and all of that. So yesterday, high expectation, the Minister of FCT declared Friday as public holiday to allow for citizens of FCT, you and I, to participate. Of course, as usual, the usual suspect happened. Low voter turnout, generally. And that could be explained, but before I explain why we have a recurring voter turnout, let's also look at other variables. There was a lockdown from 8 p.m. on Friday night till 6 p.m. yesterday. That also have its own effect. Then there was also the issue of some voters not able to find their polling units. I, for one, received notification about my relocation of the relocation of my polling units on Friday. So I think INEC could have done that much earlier so that people can find out their polling unit. But suffice to say that the election has been successful. You could see that counting and is still ongoing in some polling, collation rather, is still ongoing, I think in Kuje. So that has not been concluded. And for those areas that victors have emerged, I think predictively, one thing that stood out very firmly with FCT election is that most of those elections have been concluded on first ballot. So there has not usually been inconclusive or supplementary elections. So that, again, is part of what we saw yesterday. So election was largely peaceful. The beavers worked optimally in most of the 2,800 plus polling units. We know that there are 62 councillorship positions up for grab, 6 area council chairmen. Well, in the last dispensation, it was 3 PDP 1-3 area councils, APC 1-3. We don't know what. I learned on my way here that Gwagwalada went to PDP, and Amak APC, I think Buhari APC, Kwale. So the point is, you could see, which is, and I need to make this point. This is why even the federal lawmaker, even a former, what's it called, the Justice Muhammad Lawal Ways Committee said, INEC should be made to conduct local government elections because you can see the plurality. It's never a winner takes all. It's never one party. Even when it's the Federal Capital Territory, you recall that in 2023, President Bola Tinubu did not even win 25% of votes in FCT. And that is beauty of democracy. People can say, well, we have the seat of the president, but we are not feeling you, so we don't want to vote for you. And it's within their democratic right to do that. So you can see that it's not like one party sweeping everywhere. I believe that even ADC and all some other parties may win some councillorship positions, which will now bring vibrancy and plurality and inclusion into the local governance system in Federal Capital Territory.
That's interesting and well said, Jide Ojo, with your opening statement, and I feel is a pass mark as far as you're concerned for what had happened yesterday. While we'll look forward to continuing to progress with our democracy. Now, my next question is looking at the result that we've seen so far. 5 area councils declared already and just 1 yet to be announced. Does that speak of our political growth, maturity in terms of our organization, and also the delivery of what the people expect as far as elections is concerned?
See, the issue for me is, it's not about who wins or who loses.
Yes.
It's about the process. Okay. Was the process transparent? Was there inclusion? Or were people able to express their views, their preference through voting without let or hindrance? That's the beauty of democracy. It's not about whether one party won everything or one party lost everything. It's about participatory democracy. Like I told you, one thing that stood out to the FCT area council election is the regularity. You will agree with me, my brother, all around the 36 states of the Federation. In many states, you don't even get to have local government elections for 10, 15 years. In Borno, local government elections, I don't know whether it's been held up to 3 times. In Anambra, I'm not sure whether it's been held up to 2 times. So in 27 years, you could see, if not for the Supreme Court decision of April 11, is it April or June 11, 2024, which now mandated that if you don't have elected local government representative at the local government level, that your allocations should be withheld. If not for that Supreme Court decision, many states will not have been conducting local government elections in the last 2 years. But with FCT, because it's under the Independent National Electoral Commission, that regularity has been there. And we can see that what stood out for me yesterday was the vigilance with which people were policing their results across, or even up to not just polling units, but up to collation centers. They were there from the polling unit, they escorted it to the ward level, to the local government collation center, and now that's why, in time past, by now you will have known all the results, because it will have just been declared without due process. But now due process is being followed. It may be tedious, it may be time consuming. You could see that, for instance, in Kujena, it's taking like 2 days to process the result of an area council. But it's better to err on the side of caution. Now, yesterday evening, when people didn't quite see the result being posted on IRF, people shout. People start commenting and say, there's a glitch. And people, before we know it, INEC was able to rectify that. I don't know how many percentage of results have been uploaded by now, but I think yesterday evening, about 70% was said to have been uploaded. I believe by now, 100% of those polling units, which again, enhance the transparency of the process, because then you and I, who possibly were not on the field, we can then follow through, if we so wish, to go to IRF portal and see who won in my polling unit, who won in my ward, who won in my local government. And that's the beauty. The only thing is that now, post-election, can we start holding these elected people to account? Can we start seeing dividends of democracy? Because as I said earlier on, I said I will come back to why there's low voter turnout. I've been living in FCT since 2003. This is 23 years since I've been living here. I will say for sure that I have not seen much in terms of the service delivery. And I'm not living in I'm living in the satellite, where ordinarily we should see some measure of good roads, primary health care center, schools and all of that. But I think there is a lot more that needs to be done by the area council leadership, whether you are talking of chairman or you are talking of councillors. I think they need to do more. I don't know whether they are affected by the non-release or what we call JAC account, which the Supreme Court spoke to when it says that the joint state local government account is not sacrosanct and that the funding due to the local government should be sent to them directly. Maybe that's what has impeded the performance of area council chairmen and councillors. But if that has not happened, I think we need to see more service delivery on their part, because that's one of the key reasons why people will have a sense of belonging to want to participate.
Exactly.
There is a program your station, NTA, used to do. I don't know whether you knew about it. It's called Village Headmaster. The Village Headmaster in the 70s and the 80s portrayed a community called Oja. And we have an Oloja of Oja. We have one Stormy Petre, Councillor Balogun. That Councillor Balogun reminds me of, how the people of Oja engaged in to make demands from the council about governance issues, security in their community, lack of social amenities and all of that. And that is a portrayal, in my own mind, of how a good local government system should operate. So if we have that kind of accountability system where people can walk into their councillors and say, Councillor Idris, Councillor Azan, what is happening? You could see our primary health care center is not functioning, or that our schools have been blown off, the rooftop of our schools have been blown off. When are you going to replace it? And then we follow up to the area council chairman himself.
Let's get to connect with our correspondent Kuje, because we're interested in the latest coming from Kuje. Hello, Serafina, if you can hear me, what's the latest? You have anything to tell us new?
Okay, yes, I can hear you, Ajia. So, okay, now the unofficial of the INEC just gave a detailed explanation to why the delay, owing to the fact that they commenced the process early enough. So they said it's the Kabi ward find, emerged as the only ward yet to conclude coalition due to pockets of challenges experienced overnight. They talked about the delay was largely attributed to poor network and internet services, which hindered the smooth transmission and process of results. However, the INEC also said the situation created a temporary setback for electoral officials, prompting swift intervention by security personnel to ensure their safety and the integrity of the process. The officials were successfully escorted and returned to the ward, talking of the Kabi Ward 5, at about 5 a.m. this morning to resume the completion and the collation exercise in Kuje. Authorities have also made it known to journalists that assuring that despite the challenges encountered, the process remains under control, and all necessary measures are being taken to ensure transparency and credibility of the final outcome. Well, Judge, you can hear me. As I'm talking to you now, the buses just arrived. Should I scream hooray? Oh, well, let's wait yet. But I think the moment we've been waiting for is about to take effect. Well, more updates to be given to you as events unfold here from Kuje. Ajay, can you hear me? Any questions? Anything to add?
We cannot but thank you, enough, Serafina, but the ultimate will be that you are calling us to tell us that the result is out, within the time of our program, but we do hope that you will do, your best in getting us that result. Thank you very much for giving us that update.
Thank you, Ajay.
All right. All right, sir. Now, I know you were making points about accountability around the local council administration. I want to add, in addition to the explanation you're given, the local council, area council, as the case may be, is seen as the third tier of government. But, while we'll expect accountability and, development around that level of, governance, how do you now reconcile holding them accountable with, like I asked yesterday, some of the guests that came, local challenges, local problems of people who come. Yes, they know you are elected to work for everybody to bring about development, but people come with their local problem. Naming ceremony issues, I want to marry new wife. These are the local politics you hear when you go to the grassroots. People come with, baggage of their own personal problem and not community, problem or development. So If you are a local government, how do you reconcile? And these are the same people who work for you to say we push you there to be elected.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 situation. You have to manage it creatively. There will be those who will want to take advantage of you, and it's a general challenge. There's no local government you go to that you don't face similar challenges. These traditional rulers will bring you lists of people that you should employ. And when they say employee, they don't come to office, but they are on the payroll. You understand? The traditional rulers are on the payroll. They don't add any value beyond just the fact that I'm the emir of this and the district head of this, but they receive monthly salaries. Then, of course, when there is, Umrah, they want to go on Umrah, you have to sponsor it. They want to go on Hajj, you have to sponsor it. This is Ramadan season, you have to show body. You have to shake body and stay in local palace. So, it's a lot. It takes a lot of toll on the accountability process, because you and I that don't even know where they live, we can't access them, we can't go to them. But because they live in the midst of the people, some of these VIPs who demonstrate, the traditional institutions, the political leaders at the ward level, at the council level, at the community level, so they come with all manner of, oh, my son wants to travel abroad, I want you to give him scholarship. A local government chairperson giving your scholarship to study abroad. Do you know what that means? But if you fail to do it, they say, okay, no problem. So you are not willing to do it, we will get somebody who can do it. And so you have to engage, you now have to engage in creative accounting. And that's why there has not been proper development at the area council level. Even for governors, they face similar. You may not know, they don't tell us, but that's why they do a lot of gatekeeping. You can't easily access them. In fact, if you are a friend to someone who has become a governor, it will change his number because he doesn't want. How many people can he attend to? Right from when you even declare your intent to run for office, that's when you start spending. This area council chairman, if they tell you how much they have spent to emerge victory, you will marvel that for area council, someone could have spent up to $1 billion. And you will think it's exaggerated. Look at this, 150 days of campaign. And you are campaigning across all the wards. And then some communities have more than, some wards have more than one community. So, and you don't go empty-handed on those campaigns. You settle the youths, you settle the market women, you settle the Okada riders, you settle the road transfer, the Ashwebi, you see them where those who join you on campaign trail, when they are going, you give them some token, 10K for their transport or to buy pure water, you supply them food. A lot is going on, and it is because of the culture of poverty. We have weaponized poverty in Nigeria, so much so that we have come to realize that politics is a means of poverty alleviation. For some people anyway, not for many people. So it's part of the challenge of governance. But for me, it is not those who trouble you that will make your administration. It's your balancing act. You have to now design a framework. How much of the council resources do you want to use to settle godfathers? How much do you want to use to work for the people? Because when you fail to work for the people, people will say you as a failure. The godfathers you have made happy are just minute. They are few, maybe 100. But the people in the community could be in millions. So if you fail to do the roads, if you fail to provide essential social amenities like electricity, community health centers or primary health care centers, the primary schools under your purview. Remember, last year, I don't know whether you remember that FCT council teachers went on strike for 3 months.
Sure.
Over issue of 70,000 minimum wage that the council told us they cannot pay. And it took the intervention of Minister of FCT to railroad them and say, you are undoing yourself. You are looking at election in future. If you fail to pay these people, because it's the children of the poor that goes to those schools anyway. my own children, and I'm not rich, but my own children will not go to public schools where there are no facilities, where one teacher or 3 teachers will teach a whole primary school, primary 1 to 6. What impact is, but there are people who are less privileged who may not be able to afford sending their wards or children to private schools. So these are the people you need to cater for. So I quite understand the dynamics of having to settle godfathers and opinion molders and traditional rulers, but also if you have to do like 30-70, use 70% of the resources to satisfy the voters, the ordinary citizens who may not have access to you directly, but have access to your services. Like we say, if you encourage farmers in your area council, support them with fertilizers, insecticides, they have bumper affairs, you buy it off them, you help them to get good bargaining for their product, they will be happy with you.
All right, I think you're making good points there, but let's break this discussion now to go take reactions from AMAC, where I believe those that are still basking in the euphoria of the victory for the AMAC chairman and other councillors who won under the APC are celebrating. So Mariam Jituwa, I guess, is one of our correspondents taking care of AMAC. So let's get that report.
The incumbent chairman and chairman-elect Abuja Municipal Area Council, Christopher Zakame Kalongu, is here in the Garki village to appreciate the people for giving him the opportunity to serve them for another 4 years.
I'm very, very happy because this man is a very good man. He has been doing good. If you can witness it yesterday, many people came out. We are very happy that what we have been benefiting from the man when he was in first tenure is very good.
And I'm happy for him, and everybody is happy for him, and we are out here to celebrate him because he's the man that has capacity and is working and is going to work more than what he has even do. So we believe on him, and everybody believes on him.
He has done it, and we are praying that he should go back, and God has answered our prayer. Our joy knows no bound at all. As the youth secretary of Gariki, it shows that we in Gariki are doing well.
Yes, yes, that is why we are saying 4+4. Congratulations for him.
Appreciate all the good citizens and the residents of FCT, more especially AMAC at large, for giving me their mandate. They came out in their number and they voted for me. I want to say thank you. And I pray by the grace of God, I will give back to my people that dividend of democracy.
Well, the reaction there, including the incumbent chairman who has been re-elected, Christopher Zakame Kalongu, expressing his delight and appreciation for the voters in FCT who have re-elected him for a second term in office. Well, from there, let's quickly join Onotu. I believe he has something from the security perspective. Onotu, if you can hear me, where are you and what's actually the latest around where you are now? If you can help us summarize, we appreciate.
All right. Thank you, Ajira, once again. It is to let you know that in the aftermath of, just like you rightly said, security, in the aftermath of the lockdown yesterday for the exercise, life is fully returning after the restriction, the ban on restriction of movement had been lifted. I'm presently standing at Area 1, and for those who are very much familiar with this area of AMAC, it's actually an environment that is usually filled with life, and that life has returned. Even for a Sunday, that you would expect that the town will be, ghost town as people go around going to churches and Ramadan, so people are also going to attend tafsir and what have you. So life has fully returned in the aftermath of the lift on the restriction of movement. So activities are beginning to pick up after the electioneering exercise. taxi operators are back to, in fact, if you have trouble, I traveled through this place yesterday, you think you are in a desert, except for the structures that were around, no movement, there was no life around. But now that is become in the past now. Life is returned to the FCT in the format of the election results being declared lost. Businesses are picking up and the people are going back to, returning to life to go about their businesses unhindered. And then, like as you usually will expect, areas like this are areas of interest to security agencies. Just far to my right, you see a VIO vehicle behind me, and then just across the road from my screen, the police outposts and deployments on checkpoints, all in an effort to ensure that individuals go about their businesses after the election to do what they need to do to pick up life back again. So that is the situation update from the as the case is right now.
Thank you very sincerely for that update around the city of Abuja, and let's come back to our conversation, but I think time is beginning to give us signal. But before then, sir, let's look at the Electoral Act that was just recently signed by the President. Would you say this action also in one way or the other affected the outcome of what we've seen in the election, the courage people had in ensuring that what happened during the voting is, was announced?
Well, I'm not sure that the Electoral 2026, which was just signed on the 18th of February, could have impacted one way or the other on this election, which was on the 21st. 3 days interval. The law under which the dates and activities for 2026 area council elections was made was 2022 Electoral Act, and I think that's what largely influenced this election. So if there will be any impact of the act, it should be on the Ekiti and Osun governorship election later this year. But suffice to say that our laws are just changing color here and there, nothing substantial. The reality is like we are just fine-tuning. We already have a body of law under which our elections are conducted. We have institutions that have been in existence for close to 30 years. INEC has been in existence since 1998. If you do that math, it's like 28 or 28 years. So the institutional memory is there. They know our elections, and we know what the global standard is to conduct elections. But the nitty-gritty of like infusion of technology, I heard what Serafina said about the setback that was said to have taken place in I think one ward in Kuje. In Kuje. About the uploading of the results and all of that. Yeah, because of the new technology, we have talked about we need to have e-transmission. Well, now that has come to play, and INEC has said it will abide. But outside of e-transmission of results, which INEC did in all the previous elections anyway, don't forget that this e-transmission thing had been in existence since 2020, when INEC piloted it in the Nasarawa State constituency election. So this is 2026, so it's been with us. The only issue is about real time or no real time. What is real time? How real is real time? What is the definition of real time? Because we all know that the off-cycle elections that have been held since 2020, INEC has had to do e-transmission. By-elections, they have done. General elections, they did. When people say, oh, 2023 election, they are singling out only presidential election for the glitch. All the other layers of election, there were no issues about the transmission of their result. Now the legal backing is there. Those who want to seek redress can now have basis to go to court to challenge and say, oh, we got results, our polling agent brought us results, and when we did our independent tabulation, it's at variance with what is on the IRF portal. So it becomes a medium of checks and balance. Basically, that's the value addition that has come into it. But in terms of understanding how election works or who should do what, everybody understands what their role should be. For instance, there is no legal basis for ICES, Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, but it has been with us. And INEC has been using it since the time of Atairu Jega. And you know when Atairu Jega left INEC, that was 2010. So we have been using ICES, Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, to provide, to secure election environment for over 16 years now. And no court has said, no, it's not fit and proper. So we'll continue to improve on our electoral democracy. It's just that it takes time. And people should be patient. And it's not every time you read meanings about, oh, because something didn't happen as prescribed, then there must be rigging, there must be fraud. Sometimes, even, why couldn't I do this with you virtually? Because your infrastructure cannot at this point take it. But if you want to run before you crawl, you are going to stumble. It's better to err on the side of caution and to take one step at a time. Democracy have come to stay. This is the longest we have had without military interruptions. We've never had back-to-back elections 8 times in all the previous republics. We've had First Republic, we've had Second Republic, we have aborted Third Republic. This is the Fourth Republic. None had survived up to 10 years before now. Now we have over 20 years. This forthcoming general election is going to be our 8th in sequence, and we have not failed to hold the election as per when is it. But let me also say on a final note that no election is perfect. That's why Section 152 or 153 of Electoral 2022, I don't know what section it will be in 2026, says that election will not be invalidated except except there is substantial non-compliance. Yeah, I hope you are listening to me. Except there is substantial non-compliance. What does substantial non-compliance mean? It means that even if there are indiscretions here and there, even if you didn't get everything perfect, if it is not substantial enough, the outcome of that election stands. And I've always given this example. You and I went to school. You scored 75 marks. They write excellent. Why didn't they say until you score 100 marks?
All right, sir. Let me just quickly ask you if you can help us summarize it. Post-election issues are another time and money-wasting area of our democracy. How can this be managed? Just if you can respond in just a few seconds, sir.
Well, it all depends on the party and the candidate. In other climes, you just congratulate winner and prepare for the next one. But if in your own view, and this is why I will advise parties and candidates not to be allowed, not to allow themselves to be pushed by their lawyers. Sometimes it's the lawyers that egg them on to go and file matters, because lawyers are now using election petition to become senior advocate of Nigeria. That is why I would say, if you know you lost this election, if you know you don't have enough body of evidence to overturn the outcome, don't bother going to court. Rather than going to court and spending money hiring senior lawyers, junior lawyers, and, cut your loss. Prepare for the next one, rather than going the way of litigations.
Thank you very much, and you're always a delight to talk, with, and you've provided so much insights and perspectives, for the GDO that we know, and we must thank you sincerely for coming to our Fct Decides studios.
Always a pleasure. Always. Thanks for the thoughts. Thanks for the kind words.
All right, well, that will be the Fct Decides studios, and we want to thank you especially for, always being a part of it. And at this moment, we want to, end the discussion as well as close the Fct Decides studios. But before we go, we want to thank our producers and all those that have worked to ensure that you got bit by bit happenings from the election till this moment of the announcements of results. For Kuje, you will get to know that in our other news bulletins and programs. We want to thank you especially. I remain Abdullah Hajia saying bye for now.